imagine riding the bus and catching someone taking a photo up a woman's skirt. What would you do if you saw that happening? Well, that's the situation one man was in while he was riding the 63 Ossington last week. He says it was a crowded bus. Many witnessed the interaction but didn't do anything. He decided to confront the man and report it to the driver.
I said, no, I have to do something. So I just confronted him. I said, you know, we all saw you take that photo, right?
And what was his response?
He said, do I know you? And I said, no, but we all saw it. The flash went off. The lady sitting next to me said, is that what that was? And she was so shocked about it, and she got off the bus immediately after that. The guy, I could see in the reflection of the window of the TTC that he was sending the photo. And so that made me really upset. So I kind of looked over at the other people that had saw. Nobody was really wanting to do anything. So I said, okay, I'm going to stand up and we're just going to report it to the driver. After he was done on the phone with the supervisor, he did tell me that it was reported, that they were going to check the cameras.
Mark Piercy says he was encouraged when the driver pulled over the vehicle, called his supervisor, and confronted the man who refused to hand over his phone. When Piercy exited the bus shortly after, he was promised the incident would be investigated. But City News has learned the TTC didn't escalate the situation any further, and the bus continued on its route. A spokesperson tells us that's because it was called in as a man taking photos of people without permission, and they weren't aware it was an issue of sexual harassment.
We have no evidence to indicate that the operator was aware that that was the issue. The operator acted completely appropriately. He phoned it in. He told his supervisors that there was somebody taking photos. He was told to stop the bus and to ask them to stop. He did that. They stopped. There was no danger, and he continued on his way.
Would it have been appropriate, or when is it appropriate for it to be escalated to police or for surveillance footage to be looked at?
So if there had been any further incident, if there was, if somebody was if there was felt to be any danger to our customers, if any safety of our customers or our operators or employees was at stake, then absolutely.
Now, it's not just the TTC response that Piercy finds disappointing. Coming up, why the actions of his passengers has made him feel like he might think twice about intervening again.
Standing up for the right thing isn't always going to be easy, and you might not always get the support that you think. You know, sometimes there's people that are just not going to have your back on certain things.
Well, imagine riding the bus and catching someone taking a photo up a woman's skirt. What would you do if you were in that situation? Well, one man found himself in that position while riding the 63 Ossington last week. He decided to confront the man and report the incident to the driver. As we reported earlier in the show, Mark Piercy also told the woman who'd been targeted, and she quickly exited the bus. But what happened next is what shocked him most.
I would say no more than 4 minutes, 5 minutes tops. We were at one stop just waiting there while he was reporting the incident on the phone, and I could hear people in the background kind of huffing and puffing. And I turned around, and there was a lady at the back of the bus who was kind of explaining the story of what was happening to some people back there. And she noticed that I had seen her telling the story, and she said to me, she yelled out from the back of the bus to me at the front, and she said, "It's not your skirt, so why the hell do you care?" Honestly, it was a big shocker for me. I just didn't expect it to kind of unfold that way. It seemed like the people on the bus were mad at me and yelling at me, but it was only me and the bus driver that was actually trying to do anything about the guy who took the photo.
Piercy says he got off the bus feeling uneasy with the man he'd accused still on board, refusing to hand his phone over to the driver. When he left, the driver promised Piercy the incident would be investigated. But City News has learned it wasn't escalated and the bus continued on its route. A TTC spokesperson tells us that's because it was called in as a man taking photos of people without permission and not as a case of sexual harassment. Still, they say they take passenger safety seriously and they need the public's help to make that happen.
People are busy and they expect service and they want service without delays, and I understand that. But safety is absolutely the #1 priority. You know, we just a few months ago did a really big campaign called This Is Where, hashtag This Is Where, and it was about assault and harassment, and it really encouraged people to use every possible avenue to report.
Now, the transit system also launched the Safe TTC app last year, and that allows people to anonymously report incidents, upload photos, and write descriptions for the TTC to investigate. Janelle Amasis.